one of the best predictors for pathological porn use is the age at which you first become exposed to it. Why? How does porn use impact a developing brain? What is it about this? Which direction is the arrow of causation going in?
Yeah, so a couple of caveats about that. So that's like a observation we've made of people in our community. I don't know if there's actually research on that, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was, because that's true of all the other addictions. Okay, so we sort of know why. And so we know that when you have a developing brain, adding a substance to it makes us more vulnerable to it long term. So there's even studies that show that early marijuana usage is more likely to lead to addictions of other kinds. And it's because when you use marijuana at a young age, it actually alters how your dopamine circuitry is formed and leaves you vulnerable to other addictions. So my guess is that pornography has some similar neuroscientific mechanism where something is going on, where even if because these people are prepubescent usually when they're exposed, which means that they don't get aroused, like usually, right? So and they don't even understand what they're seeing, which is the most common thing when I talk to people who are addicted to pornography. Most common thing is I was like 7 and my 15-year-old brother like showed me this thing. And him and his friends were watching it, and it was super cool. I didn't understand what was going on. But we do know that adding stuff to the developing brain, whether it's a particular kind of stimulus, let's say like abusive parents, right? So that's not a substance, or a substance alters its formation. And that those effects are, let's say, not quite permanent, but sticky, and then require some time to be rewired. And so probably it has something to do with the way that our dopamine circuitry, our emotional circuitry, those things kind of get laid down.
Well, that perfectly shows why porn use is, at least in part, not sexual. Because you have this coping mechanism for an individual who is, as yet, not sexual.
And that, I think, is the weirdest thing for pornography addiction, is that like a lot of it, honestly, in my clinical experience, is like not very sexual in nature. It's really about some weird emotional suppression, mentally checking out, getting that spurt of relief. And that's also why you'll see so much usage. It's not like they feel compulsions as opposed to feeling horny.
Yeah, they're not aroused for 8 hours straight.
Right. It's not like, we're going to jerk off all day and it's going to be great. It's like, I feel terrible about myself. I don't know what to do. I feel a compulsion to watch this stuff, do this thing for a while. If I get into a fight, I need to do it again. I'm procrastinating. I've wasted the whole day. I feel ashamed of myself because I've done this for the last 4 hours. I need to do it again. That's honestly more of what it is.
I think that taking it out of the realm of sex, which, the world still has massive problems talking about openly, it's something that's kind of very shameful and guilt-ridden and private and all the rest of it. Taking it out of that and just saying, look, man, for you, it's fapping. For the girl that lives next door, it's binge eating. For the guy that lives down the street, it's video games. For the dude that lives next door to you, it's marijuana. Coping mechanisms all the way down.
Yeah.
I think that takes away a lot of the shame, which is pretty cool. One of the other considerations that I imagine must happen an awful lot is around bedtime routines, sleep hygiene generally from your community. If you're talking about people that use screens an awful lot, people that use social media, porn, video games, etc., why is it that we get so motivated in the middle of the night instead of first thing in the morning? Why did nature decide that it was going to curse us so that our brains can't shut off when we're about to go to sleep, and yet when we want to wake up first thing in the morning, our brains don't want to start?
So I think there are a lot of different answers to this. I think a big part of it is that, a big part of what we do, if we look at the staring at a wall exercise, for example. So a lot of that real solid positive motivation comes from within. And if we really look at our society, what's going on right now is we are being told what we want all the time. So we've lost touch with ourselves, right? So like there's a notification, oh, this game is coming out. There's this new movie coming out. There's a Super Mario movie. There's this movie. There's that movie. There's this kind of thing. And by the way, there's this kind of thing that you can do to be healthy. You should be healthy. You need to be healthy. You need to be more motivated. This is how you grind. This is how you be productive. Be all of these things. And so what's happening in our society is we are gravitating towards stuff outside of us all the time. And the people are getting better and better at getting us gravitated towards them, right? So Oreo is figuring out, okay, what color can we put the package? How can we make it crinkly, like so that, there's some kind of Pavlovian conditioning. Like everyone's getting better at this. And so oftentimes, if you kind of think about it at night, a couple of things happen. The night is the only time you're with yourself, right? And maybe and I guarantee you the people who are getting motivated are not sitting there doom scrolling on their phone until they pass out. They're usually like sitting down quietly or something like that. Like what happens is you doom scroll, you get tired, you put the phone away, you put your head on the pillow, you don't fall asleep, and then you start having all these ideas. So it's really the only time that in the shower, right? Because we don't have waterproof phones perfectly yet. So that's why like all these profound thoughts happen in the shower. It's not like the shower is magical and has some neurochemical that you're inhaling that makes you more creative. It's the only time that you have with yourself. And there are studies that show that meditation improves creativity and things like that. Why is that? It's because you're with yourself. So that's one reason. There are a couple of other reasons, though. I think that some people have a different circadian rhythm and their creative time is really late at night. If you look at basically religions across the world, they sort of have this convergent evolution of mental work at like 3 to 6 in the morning. So depending on how late you stay up, you may actually be tapping into that, what's in Sanskrit called Brahma Muhurta. There's also the time of like matins. So there's like this window of time that based on circadian rhythm where your mind is actually very, very active. And that's how I ended up studying 2 hours in med school. I just studied during Brahma Muhurta. I was like, hey, and everything just sinks in.
Were you getting up early or staying up late?
So getting up early. So I'd wake up at like 4 a.m. I'd do like yoga and meditation. I'd study for 2 hours and I'd go to class and then I'd finish class and I'm done for the day, which is great. So I think that, you have to be a little bit careful about your circadian rhythm. That just could be your time. But a lot of it is just, that's the time that you're with yourself. And so got to just spend more time with yourself. Like you're a cool person. You don't need something else to entertain you.
We'll get back to talking to Dr. K in 1 minute, but first I need to tell you about Element. I've taken Element every single morning for probably 3 years now. It is my favorite way to start the day. It tastes fantastic. It optimizes my hydration. It makes my brain work more effectively, and it really wakes me up. Element contains a science-backed electrolyte ratio of sodium, potassium, and magnesium with no gluten, no colors, no artificial ingredients, no fillers, and no BS. They are the exclusive hydration partner to Team USA Weightlifting and relied on by tons of FBI sniper teams, special forces, Navy SEALs, and high performers all around the world. It plays a critical role in reducing muscle cramps and fatigue whilst optimizing brain health and regulating your appetite. On top of all of that, they've got a no BS, no questions asked refund policy, so you can buy it, and if you do not like it for any reason, they will give you your money back, and you don't even need to return the box. That's how confident they are that you love it. Head to drinklmnt.com/modernwisdom to get a free sample pack of all 8 flavors with your first box. That's drinklmnt.com/modernwisdom. What's happening, people? If you enjoyed that, then press here for the full, unedited episode. And don't forget to subscribe. Peace.